Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So this is kind of a different type of video. So I've been getting into tarot reading. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I've been getting into tarot reading, like I just mentioned. And it has been really fun. It's really helpful when it comes to self-growth, self-development, and also just helping others to have more guidance, clarity, things like that. And I've been really enjoying it, and now that I'm actually starting to do it, I'm starting to do personal readings for other people too. So I just want to give you guys more of like beginner tips on how to get started with tarot, because I get this question asked a lot lately. How and why I got into tarot and how to get started if you're a beginner. I'm still really new. I believe that, like, compared to a lot of people out there, I'm still really new, but I think it'd be great to have a video out there like this that can kind of teach you or give you some perspective on how to get started as like from a beginner's perspective, if that makes sense. But I'm gonna give you guys a couple of tips that I have when it comes to starting tarot, my little journey. And I think it's kind of cool for me to look back at this and see how I changed throughout the years, hopefully. And yeah, so let's get started. First tarot deck I got a couple years ago. I went to Sedona with a mom. If you don't know about Sedona, it's basically a vortex. It's a very strong energy place, and they have a lot of psychics, a lot of like witchcraft stores. They have a lot of metaphysical stores, things like that. So it's really fun to go there. And I picked up my first tarot deck, but I didn't really connect to the deck. I know how to use it, but I wasn't connected to it, so I didn't end up getting into tarot. And a couple of months ago, I started kind of dig deeper into tarot. I got my first tarot deck. My mom gave me my first tarot lesson, but I ended up like going the extra step and doing more than what she like showed me. She basically just showed me the first like major arcanas, but I didn't like, I got more into it afterwards. And yeah, that just kind of started, and I started reading for myself, my friends, and it was really fun. And I started doing it for other people, which is more fun when you're able to give guidance for people who need it right now. And yeah, and it has been really fulfilling, really fun. I love tarot decks. I love the process of reading it, everything like that. But I'll get started with some of the tips that I have for you. So first of all, get your first tarot deck. The tarot deck that I recommend is just a Rider-Waite tarot. This is the easiest one to read because it's just a traditional tarot deck. And this is how it looks like. This is how mine looks like. I know that there are a couple different like versions of this. I just got it from Amazon, and this is still the most used deck I have because I'm so connected to this deck. The imagery is really simple to understand. But yeah, that's just kind of how I started. So get your first tarot deck, and I would recommend getting either like a tarot book or getting some online courses and things like that. I have been trying to find like really good online courses. I couldn't find a lot. So a lot of them are kind of from like a couple years ago as well, so it's kind of hard to find something that's more dated. The one that I found that was really helpful is Bridget Tarot. They have some online courses, but they also have a Bridget Tarot community, which is super helpful during my journey. They have a Tarot 101 course there. They have a lot of videos. They have a forum. They have a place where you can do free readings for other people to practice your skills as well. So I would highly recommend that. So having some sort of tarot books or a tarot course. I will link some of my favorite books down below too. There are some books that are more for like understanding the meanings of the card, and there are some books that's more for teaching how to be intuitive. And I do both. I learned the meaning first, and then I went to understanding the imagery. I know some people do it the other way. I find it really helpful for me because I'm someone that loves like learning about like different meanings of the cards. So I kind of understand the meaning first, and then obviously I would dig deeper into the card, and with the situation I'll know how it kind of relates to a situation with like the things in the card, the imagery, things like that. So for example, when it comes to reading intuitively, okay, I see here. So this card is Seven of Swords. So you can see that this person is doing some sneaky things, right? So betrayal, things like that. And the meaning kind of means the same way too, but like even sometimes when you just look at the card, you can kind of understand the meaning. So that's kind of how I got started. I just have my tarot cards. I was reading books. I was studying the tarot. I had like a tarot journal where I write down the meanings, how I feel about the imagery. I think that was super helpful, having a tarot journal. And I started doing free tarot reading for my friends, family, and then the Biddy Tarot community where I was doing free readings for other people for feedbacks. And it was really cool because sometimes you're like doing your friend's tarot reading, you can be kind of biased in some way because you know the situation. But if you're doing it for other people, when they just give you like one question and you find out that you were very accurate with the reading, you kind of touch on the points that they didn't even tell you about, then you know that you're getting better at doing tarot. And the next step I took was I did free readings on my Instagram. So I opened up a new tarot page because my current Instagram page is a lot with like health and fitness, and I don't want to mix that, but that's another story. I have a tarot page, or more like a spiritual page, where I just say like, hey, I'm doing free tarot readings for feedbacks right now and for practice, and I got like tons of DMs on doing them. You can also do it on like YouTube or Facebook, things like that. I just did it on Instagram, and that's been super helpful to getting some feedbacks and talking to the client. But yeah, that's kind of how I got started with doing tarot and some of the tips I have. And I just want to quickly mention this. I think it's very important for you to understand and for your client to understand that tarot reading is not about predicting your future. It's more just giving you a snapshot of how your future might look like. You have the power to change your future. I think that's super important because a lot of people just think that, oh yeah, because tarot say that, my future is gonna look like that. And I don't think that's true, but people have different opinions about it. And lastly, I want to mention this as well. Tarot reading should be empowering. It should be something that can encourage other people. I definitely made this mistake where I did a tarot reading and I was too straight with my answer in some way. I wasn't very encouraging in that message, and the client didn't really like what she heard. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. So if you do get a card, whether it's like reversed or it is something that's not as positive, make sure to make it into an empowering message and make sure to make it into more of a reminder in some way. But yeah, so that's kind of like my advice, like really quick advice on how to get started with tarot. I'm just going to quickly show you some of my favorite tarot decks as well to get you started. I used a mixture of tarot and oracle. I've been getting into Lenormand's, but so far I haven't had the chance to get into Lenormand's yet. I have a deck but I haven't started, but I do use oracle and tarot decks together. Again, I mentioned the tarot decks I use is the Rider-Waite Tarot, and another one I really like is the Light Seers Tarot. I just got this one, but I've been really loving this one. The imagery, again, is really easy to understand, and they use the same suit, so they didn't change names. So still Pentacles, it's still Swords, Wands, and what's the last one? Cups. Yeah, so I really like this one as well, and I'm slowly getting into this one, but I just did like a full reading with it a couple of days ago, and it works really well. And when it comes to, I'm gonna give you another tarot deck that I really love, and that is the Game of Thrones Tarot. So when I heard that Game of Thrones has a deck of tarot, I knew I needed it because I love Game of Thrones. So this is how it looks like. So it's really cute. I wouldn't say it's a beginner friendly tarot in some way. Like I would still recommend having this one or the Light Seers Tarot first, but this will be a fun one to get into because the imagery is really easy to understand. And I think the only thing they change is one of the suits. I forgot which one it was. I think it's Pentacles. They just change it into coins. And for the Wands, they change it into spears. So this is my third tarot deck that I really like. In terms of oracle decks, I think honestly just get what you enjoy having. A lot of oracle decks, they have some meanings behind it. So they, on the card. So for example, this is the Work Your Light oracle cards, and it literally just says like trust your path, and it'll give you different meanings, and just some description on the card. So I do really enjoy this deck. I use this one so often, and I feel really connected to this one. I will try to link all the names below. And then last one, I'm just gonna quickly show you too. This has been like my absolute favorite because it's just so pretty. It's the Thread of Fate. Yes, I think that's what it's called. The tarot deck, and you can see that it's holographic and it's so pretty. But definitely not beginner friendly because it just has like one word, so you have to really understand it. But I would really highly suggest this Work Your Light or the Starseed Oracle. I have both of them and they work really well. And start with the basic tarot deck first. Let me know if there's any question. I would love to make more videos like this, but it's kind of new to me. But thank you for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye!